My name is Scott, and by the end of the year, I'm going to graduate college. And I have a goal in between then. I want to make a game from start to finish and fully publish it so that people can start playing it. I've had a lot of ideas throughout college and I've started a few projects, but I want to take one project from start to finish and have it fully done by the time I finish. And my goal for this is going to be Submerged Scoundrels. It's a game I started making a few days ago, and I'm going to create these devlogs about how I'm making the game, what I'm using, and eventually try and market it so that you guys can play it. So let's get into it. The game I am creating is called Submerged Scoundrels, a pirate game based off of Sea of Thieves with one major twist that instead of sailing ships, it's submarines. It's set in a more modern era. Instead of cannons, there are torpedoes. Instead of wind and sails, there are engines and fuel. And instead of ghost pirate ships, there are destroyers hunting for you and supply convoys that you have to hit. Sea of Thieves is one of my favorite games of all time. So for my first game, I wanted to create something that I love to play and something that I would enjoy playing. And so I came up with this idea, create a very similar styled game set with a lot of the same gameplay features, but with a completely different setting and a different era instead of the old pirate theme. So something more modern, something more new. Undersea warfare is something really cool, I think, and something that would be really cool to play in video games, but is lacking from a lot of modern video games. So that's what I wanted to try and fill a void with. So first, before I get into anything, I want to show off the progress, the really cool stuff that I've been doing, and then I'm going to get kind of into the project, the gameplay loop, and the tools I'm using. But first, I want to showcase off what I've made so far. So as you can see, this is what I've kind of done so far. I've set up the main island. This is going to be, every player is going to get their own version of this. Will they'll be able to upgrade specific things on it, but this is it right now. That cave back there, I'm going to put the Scoundrels Association, so that's going to be the shop where you get your missions, where you interact with the NPCs, things like that. And then eventually this dock area is going to be built up a little bit more to be like kind of more submarine and more modern instead of the wooden stuff. But this is what I have right now. And then this submarine is what I'm thinking is going to be the main submarine model. I like it. I just got it from the asset store, but I've been working on making it actually functional. And right now, I have everything except you can't dive or go beneath the surface in it yet, but I have the fully working mechanics that I like for the motion. So pretty much there's a throttle. So right now I'm not pressing any buttons, but it's able to move forward pretty much like a throttle, and you can change direction. And it's a little choppy right now, but this is kind of like where I want to be for basic concept, and I'm liking it a lot. You can go faster. Right now there's no maximum or minimum speed, and then you can slow the throttle back down and even go in reverse a little bit. So that's the progress I've made so far on the submarine. And then along with that, I've been getting the terrain working. As you can see, it's not full yet. I haven't put walls up or anything, but I really like how the ocean's turned out so far. You can see down there the sand, the sandy bottom, and I like how deep it is and the ocean feel I've gotten so far from the terrain editor just in Roblox. And I'll show some pictures and some videos of this, the progress it took to get here. As you can see, I made kind of a rocket ship before I made the actual submarine, and I had a lot of fun trying to deal with the physics side of Roblox. And then also on the terrain editor, my earliest versions of the ocean weren't turning out perfectly well, as you can see. But eventually I got to where I am now, and I'm really liking this first step. Looking at the features list, I've gotten a few of the main stuff done, and I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. I'm going to kind of describe what the gameplay loop is going to look like. So first, when a player spawns in, they're going to have their own island, very similar to Sea of Thieves, where each player starts on an outpost. They're going to be able to name their submarine, and they're also going to be able to name their island so that other people know it's theirs. And then they're going to get a little introduction into what I'm calling the Scoundrels Association, the main organization that is running these submarines that you work for, that they have the quests, they have the money, they have the ability to upgrade your submarine if you do well. And of course, we're going to have a little bit of a tutorial at the beginning of the game to show you how to pilot, what missions there are, and what the aim of the game is. Then the fun part, the player's going to get to set sail, and they're going to get to go experience the ocean. They're going to find missions. They're going to repair and refuel their ship. And then they're going to be able to explore the deeps, the surface, and other barren islands around the map as well, along with potentially being able to go onto other players' islands if you can get onto them. But then for the real story is going to be the missions. So this is going to be the main missions I'm thinking for the beginning of the game. It's going to be the PvP, so being able to shoot down other players' ships, very similar to Sea of Thieves, where this is not necessarily a PvP focused game, but it is something you're going to have to watch out for. And if that's how you want to play, you're going to be able to play like that. And if that's something you don't like, you're going to have to be a little bit more stealthy and a little bit more skilled to get away from those players who are trying to hunt you. And you will be able to get experience, gold, and things like that by sinking other players' ships. But then some of the main things that submarines can do: intel gathering, so potentially going to other bases and listening and selling that information back, tapping undersea cables that are going to be in the game and selling that information to the Scoundrels Association, things like that. Pretty simple, nothing too major or in depth, but something more for the PvE players who kind of just want to be more passive in leveling up their submarine before they go out and cause destruction. And then one of the main missions in the game is going to be the convoy destruction. So where you have a target, the Scoundrels Association has said, here's a convoy, here's a mission, go destroy it, go get that cargo that's being transported between point A and point B, and you're going to have to sink the escort vessels, whatever those might be, ranging from other submarines, destroyers, or carriers, and you're going to have to get that cargo from those cargo ships that are being protected. And those are going to be various levels of difficulty depending on what level you are. And then at the end, there's also going to the last mission I'm thinking is there are going to be military bases scattered throughout the game. And by raiding them or raiding supply bases, whatever they might be, you'll be able to get intelligence, get gold. If you destroy those bases, get even more gold by the Scoundrels Association. And all of this is going to be handled by the Scoundrels Association. So everything except PvP, you're going to go to the association and you're going to get a mission from them and then go carry out that mission by finding it, doing it, and then returning. And then so the next phase of the gameplay loop is cashing in and returning to the base with whatever information, cargo you might have, other players' ship. I'm thinking it might be like a logbook that you collect from them or something that you sell, and that's how you get your gold. But sell anything that you've picked up, and then you complete that mission, and then you refuel your ship, you repair it, and then you go back out. And this is kind of where I want the difference between Sea of Thieves. I love that game. However, I find it very tedious sometimes where you're doing the same thing over and over again. You're playing with the exact same ship with the exact same weapons, and the only real point of getting gold is just to get more cosmetic items. But in this game, I want to be able to upgrade my submarine, upgrade the base so that my ship and my base can actually improve and that there's some reward to getting more gold and getting more money and getting more resources and improving the submarine and improving the boat to make it better, and so that more missions can be done and more experiences can be had. And then, of course, repeating the same things, but you're going to upgrade your stuff, but then you're going to go back out and do harder missions for more gold and have more fun with different weapons and different types of engines on the submarine. So that's my plan for the main gameplay loop, and I'm going to show some quick features that I have planned of what's going to be kind of in the stages of release for this game. So you can see I have a features list of everything. I have some monetization ideas, and I'm going to go into those, and then I have lists of what the alpha, the beta, and the release is going to include. So pretty simple. The alpha is going to basically be the very bare bones, minimal viable product, be able to have fun, have some missions, and then it'll get more complex, more in-depth gameplay in the beta, and then the release is going to have everything that I want. And the main thing I want to hit on is the monetization ideas. And again, this game is going to be free. So my goal is to make money. However, I don't want the money to be changing the game. This is not going to be a pay to win game. Anything you buy is going to be purely cosmetic, purely just visual, no actual advantages to the game. So I'm thinking ship skins, weapon skins, pets to the game, maybe a battle pass, we'll see, and then some sort of, because this is a Roblox game, some sort of VIP island or base where players can hang out and potentially buy these other weapon skins or more exclusive things. But again, everything is purely cosmetic. Nothing helps you in game. I'm going to explain some of the tools I'm using and why I'm using them. So the first main one is this is a Roblox game, so I'm using Roblox Studio. The reason why I chose to go with Roblox, even though I've been developing in Unity for the past 5 years, is Roblox is a very great tool to publish a game. It's very simple to have a multiplayer game. It's built right in, and it's a very simple studio to create great things with. That doesn't mean it's easy, but it's a great way as a solo developer who only wants to focus on the code side of things, not necessarily the assets and the graphics, to be able to have one platform where everything's included and I can have a great access to a marketplace where I can get assets and I can get effects and I can focus on the code side, which is what I'm really good at, and then be able to produce a really great game using just my skills and not having to reach out to other people and try to bring other people on. And that's really why I chose Roblox. It's definitely a learning curve. And the main thing I'm using to learn them is I am using AI to help me with this. I'm using Grok. That's the main AI that I'm using for this. And the reason why I'm doing this is not to make my game for me. I'm not telling the AI, hey, just code the entire thing for me. I'm using it to learn because I think that's truly the benefit of AI. I hate the whole vibe coding thing, the whole idea that you should just tell AI to make your application for you and it'll do it for you. That's a really bad idea. Don't do that. But what AI really is great for is using it as a tool to help you learn. And instead of spending hundreds of hours going through documentation to try and find your singular feature you're trying to build, use AI to help you with that and to help you learn the language and learn the syntax of it. And then that's where I'm really using it from. So I have the features, I have the ideas of what I want to make, and I'm using the AI to help me put that into effect with what Roblox can actually do, where I know how to do it in Unity or in Java or things like that. I've never used Lua before, so being able to have that tool that connects me to the specific features I want to use is a great thing to do. And then, as I said before, if I'm not an artist, I have no artistic bone in my body, but if I have to do anything 3D modeling wise, I will be using Blender as my application for that. But I really hope to not do that. And I made it so far without having to do that. And pretty much anything I would make in Blender would really suck. But that's pretty much all the base stuff out of the way. Last thing I want to cover is the future work that I'm going to do before the next devlog. I think the main thing I want to do is get the submarine pretty much fully functional. So making it go up and down, being able to dive and going to the depths with it, and then also having the user interface for the submarine, so being able to see the speed, being able to see the fuel and things like that, being able to see the health of the submarine, the name of the submarine on it, I think would be pretty cool. And then the final thing is starting to set up the Scoundrels Association inside of that cave and getting the representative there, someone you can go talk to. Not having any of the missions set up yet, but being able to go talk to that representative. And so that's where I'm at right now. I'm really excited for this project. I think it's going to go great. I'm really excited to be developing in Roblox. It's definitely something I've wanted to do for a while. And finally being able to step into it and get some project created is definitely a goal. I'm hoping that this will be a very quick project. I'm planning on spending a lot of time on it in the next few days and getting this done and making a game that I really want to play, and I hope other people out there will want to play. So if you have any ideas, if you have any suggestions, any comments, please leave them down below. And if you want to follow along, please hit the subscribe button and follow along with the rest of my devlogs. I'm hoping to get the next one out within a week, and we'll see what progress I've made. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Have a great day. Thank you.